USC football just got incredibly disrespected, but I actually think it's going to be a massive gift for the Trojans. So let's talk about it. My name is Paul, together with my buddy Aaron. We are the Big Ten guys. Tune in every day for the latest Big Ten news, insights, and analysis. If you're a fan of USC football or any other Big Ten team, this is the channel for you, so don't miss out. Take just a second, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts on Saturday's big time game against the Hawkeyes. Let us know who's going to win, who's going to have a big game. We always enjoy talking football with you guys. So let's get into this disrespect that, and I'll even admit, I was a part of this disrespect earlier in the season, but I have changed my mind. I do have the right to do that as more and new information comes in. Aaron and I always pride ourselves on trying to be as unbiased as possible. And I think USC can use this disrespect to fuel them this week. So the disrespect I'm talking about is forecast has come out. Sounds like it's going to be an ugly, rainy, sloppy day in Southern Cal. And immediately the storyline becomes, oh, that's good for Iowa. Iowa, old school Big Ten team, they know how to play in the rain. They know how to win a sloppy game. You're going to have to run the football in this game. Iowa can do that. USC can't. Iowa's going to win. And like I said, I have been a victim of this. I thought Nebraska was going to beat USC because it was so cold. I thought Michigan had a tough matchup with USC, but I really thought they were going to control the trenches in that game and run. I'm a Michigan fan, just so that's out there. But USC has proven time and time again that they're ready to play in the Big Ten. Like these big, sloppy, cold, rainy, whatever days, they can play in them. And if I am Lincoln Riley, I'm posting articles up like this in my locker room saying, like, hey, these guys think you need to be, you're a bunch of Southern Cal kids who need to be playing in sunshiny weather and can't win an ugly, sloppy football game. And I think he really can rally the troops and rile them up and come in with a chip on their shoulder because they have shown they can win these games. Like the games I've mentioned, you got USC, Nebraska. It was going to be, I think it was like upper 30s in that game, cold. The story, I even pushed it a little bit to Nebraska fans, like, hey, this favors you. But USC came out, they averaged 5.3 yards per carry, ran for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. King Miller went 7 yards per carry. And Nebraska ran the ball pretty decently too. But USC controlled the ground game and ended up winning this game despite Maava having his worst game of the season. And then same thing with Michigan. The weather wasn't ugly in this game, but everybody was like, man, Michigan, they are so good in the trenches. They're such a good running team. Like USC's got their athletes, but can they match up on the ground with Michigan? And then what do you know? Michigan averages 3.5 yards per carry and get absolutely demolished on the ground by USC. And King Miller, their third string, goes for 158 yards and a touchdown. And like I said, I bought into this early in the season. I keep waiting for these former Pac-12 teams. I keep trying to say yeah, it's going to take a couple years to adjust to the Big Ten, but it's not. I'm at the point where it's not. Oregon won it last year. USC is an elite team and has a very good chance to make the playoffs this year. And they are perfectly capable of playing in a game like this. And then you look at Iowa on the flip side. They're talking about how great Iowa is on the ground. They got beaten pretty badly on the ground this week by Oregon. They averaged 2.3 yards per carry, is a little misleading because they had that punt get snapped over their head that counts as a 39-yard loss. But they only averaged about 4 yards per carry on the ground. And on the flip side, Oregon absolutely annihilated them on the ground for 261 yards, 7 yards per carry. Didn't even need to pass in that game, just moved it on the ground. And yes, it was a close game, but there's no reason to believe that Iowa is going to control this game on the ground. And I also think people are sleeping on the improvements that have been being made on the defensive side of the ball by USC. Like, if you pull up their schedule here, yeah, things weren't great early. Like 31 to Michigan State, 34 to Illinois. But after their bye week, they really buckled down. Like that's a 13 against Michigan. The Notre Dame game, 34 isn't great, but like there was a kick return for a touchdown in that game. A couple freak things happened. I won't put too much stake into that, but 17 against a good Nebraska offense with that blackout crazy atmosphere there. And then only 17 against or for Northwestern as well. So that is 3 games out of 4 where their opponent hasn't even gotten 20 points. And if you look at like Big Ten offenses right now, Iowa is way down here, second to last team in the Big Ten offensively, where they always are. Doesn't matter who they bring in, their offense is always struggling. But you got some of these opponents that have been held under 20. You got Michigan way up here. You have Nebraska way up here. Even Northwestern has a significantly better offense than Iowa does. And like you saw that Northwestern game, the Wildcats came out early, couple touchdowns, but then USC really clamped down. I think they had 3 points in the second half for Northwestern and just pulled away in that game. And so I really think teams are sleeping on the progress that's been made by USC's defense, both in-game adjustments. They've been great in second halves, and just this mid-season adjustment after that tough Illinois game. Like this defense has significantly improved, and they've gone from like a bottom of the barrel defensive team in the Big Ten to all of a sudden they're middle of the pack. And I guarantee you, if you broke the stats down into last like 5 games, they're probably more in like the top 6 to 8 teams in the Big Ten in terms of total defense. So I've been super impressed with the job USC has done this year. A lot of people wanted to write them off after the Illinois game and even the Notre Dame game, but they continue to come out and fight and win. And all of a sudden, they're a 6.5-point favorite against Iowa. I've kind of been dogging on Iowa. Iowa is a very good team. Like if you're an Iowa fan watching this, don't think I think you're garbage. Like you're a good team. I think Gronowski's better than pretty much any quarterback you've had over the years. But I do think USC's offense is good enough, even in the rain. They're going to run the ball, they're going to put up points, and they're going to win this game. And then if they do that, sitting 8-2, this Oregon game's a playoff game. Both teams need that win to, a lot of people are sleeping on Oregon right now. I know they only have the 1 loss this year, but all of a sudden, with Penn State being unranked, and I think Iowa may have been unranked in the new playoff rankings. I got to pull those up. But like all of a sudden people are like, oh, Oregon doesn't have any ranked wins. And I think Oregon is better than people are giving them credit. But still, that very well could be a playoff game. Like with the disrespect Oregon's getting, if they lose a second game and finish the year with no ranked wins, it's going to be tough for them to get into the playoffs. So that Oregon-USC game is really starting to set up as a playoff game. Oregon, that's such a tough environment to play in. But I think USC's shown, like with that game at Nebraska, they can win in any environment. That was about as brutal of an environment as you're going to get in college football this year with the blackout and just how crazy. Like Aaron and I have learned through this channel, like Nebraska has some crazy diehard fans, and USC went into that hostile environment and won. I think they can do it anywhere. So everything's still alive for USC this season, but I really think this disrespect they're getting about whether they can play in the rain or not, they're going to use this. It's going to fuel them, and they're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder to prove, like, this isn't some team that's going to be competing in the Big Ten in a few years. We're here now. We can play Big Ten football, smash mouth, nasty, muddy football right here, right now, and I think they're going to prove it. I'm going 27-17 USC this Saturday. You guys let me know what you think. Comment below your predictions, and then don't forget, just like and subscribe on the way out.